Vinny Tortorich here. Hey man, if you're a fan of Izzy, you might be a fan of me too. I'm the guy that gets people to lose a lot of weight. I have something free for you guys. This is no clickbait. Just go to VinnyTortorich.com and there's a big banner. It's a free PDF, how to lose weight. It's an intro guide to NSNG at VinnyTortorich.com. Go check it out exclusively for anyone who listens to Izzy Presley. Thank you.
Replay Guitar Exchange is your premier independent guitar store. Being independent is good. With all of the major brands, including new, vintage, and pre-owned, you can find the guitar, bass, amp, or accessory you are dreaming of. From vintage to the newest models, Replay Guitar Exchange can help you find that perfect piece. They have industry veteran expert staff, all players like you down to the owner. You aren't just getting a great guitar, you're getting the Replay difference. Find them online at replayguitar.com and find your dream guitar today.
Hey ladies, Sass Pants Designs will take that rock shirt that everyone has and make it your own in a flattering, sassy, and simple way. There are one-of-a-kind tank tops, lace-up tees, and tube top dresses already in stock. Check out the online store at sasspantsdesigns.com and like Sass Pants Designs on Facebook for special offers and custom orders. That's sasspantsdesigns.com, sasspantsdesigns.com. Sass Pants will make you the envy of the party.
RockstarLeatherworks.com is your home for badass rock and roll gear. Featuring 100% handmade leather bands, watches, cuffs, bracelets, and more, Rockstar Leatherworks has something for everybody. Whether you are going to the show or you are in it, you can find something to fit your needs. Choose from a variety of designs or create your own masterpiece. Their bands and watches are second to none. They also ship internationally. Who needs a stage to be a rock star? Check out RockstarLeatherworks.com.
Hi, this is Bobby Brown, and welcome to another fucking podcast.
You kids with your loud music and your Dan Fogelberg, your Zima, hula hoops, and Pac-Man video games, don't you see? People today have attention spans that can only be measured in nanoseconds.
See, son, old legends never die. They just lose weight.
Like a legend and an out-of-work bum with a lot of life.
Hello, you crazy dick fucker!
Party time!
Yes, it is party time. Hello, Hollywood. Hello, world. Hello, my loyal minions. It is good to see you, and it is always good to be seen. Izzy Presley here on another fucking podcast. We are back this week, and we got a guest on the line. Going to get to Mr. CJ Snare from Firehouse in just a minute. Do make sure you hit up all of the social media at Real Izzy Presley all the way across the board. And, of course, the show page is Another Effin' Podcast. Hit that shop now button. Buy t-shirts. Speaking of t-shirts, I still have a limited quantity of the Izzy Presley Cruiser Jam shirts from this year's Monsters of Rock cruise. There's like 15 left. If you want those, just go to the show page, and that link is pinned to the top. If you want to donate to the show, you absolutely can. It is izzypresley@yahoo.com is your PayPal. And if you're in the Hollywood area, tomorrow night we are doing Soundcheck Live at Hollywood and Highland, and we have a great show planned. It is called The Evolution of Synth Pop, and I believe Nuno Betancourt is going to be playing in this one. It is free to get in, no cover. Come on down and have a lot of fun. It is going to be a lot of keyboards and math. Feel like it will be on the cruise to the edge, but that's okay because it is damn good. And then Thursday night, this great new show that we are doing called Punchlines and Backlines. That is at the Grafton that I'm co-hosting with my friend Courtney Cronin-Dold. 6 comics, 1 musician. Musician this month is Patrick Kinnison. And the catch is Patrick will have to be doing stand-up comedy for the very first time before his acoustic set. So there we go. We are all caught up. And going to get right to my guest right now. He got brought up on the last week's episode with Reverend Luke. Mr. Luke Carl. And CJ, Luke was telling us this story.
Oh boy, here we go.
He was on the air, and he was talking about yourself and your lovely better half, and the age difference. And apparently her father was in the car. Do you remember this story?
Yeah. Well, first off, I just want to say hi, Izzy. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Likewise.
Hi to everybody else. Yeah, I saw Luke. Last time I saw him was like 2 weeks ago. He hosted Rocklanta, introduced us before we came out. But the original story goes back to I was getting ready to meet my girlfriend Catherine's parents for the first time, and they were tuned into Hair Nation, and they're listening. Luke comes on, and he's like, "Yeah, CJ Snare, he's tapping some young chick who's old enough. He's old enough to be her father, you know." And who's in the car listening? But her parents. And I'm so I saw him on a Monsters of Rock cruise like a couple months later, and I came up to him. I came running up to him. I'm like, "Dude, that was so funny. That was so cool." He's like, "Oh my God, I thought you were going to deck me. Seriously? You liked it?" I said, "Look, if they're talking about you, it's all good. And by the way, if you're with a girl and you can, that's, you know, so many decades younger than you must be doing something right." And he went, "Brother," high-fived me. Yes. Yeah.
Oh God, that was great. That was fucking great. I'm like, he's like, "Yeah, tell CJ that I said hi," and then tell him that story.
Yeah, we know that story, and we've discussed it firsthand in person.
So what have you been up to, man? You guys are still out doing your fly-in weekend dates, and but you were just hanging out with Night Ranger?
Well, yeah, it was kind of one of those things where you're not at work, you're just hanging out, and these guys, I live in Orlando. And they're friends of mine. I've toured with them in Japan. And I first met Jack Blades, their singer, back when we toured with Poison and Damn Yankees. So that was, you know, Ted Nugent and Tommy Shaw and Jack Blades. And they were warming up in their dressing room going, "Oh, damn Yankees. Oh, damn Yankees." And they were adjoining dressing rooms. So the Firehouse response back to them was, "Ho, Mo's, damn Yankees. Ho, Mo's, damn Yankees." Right? Well, the door opens between the dressing rooms, and the first thing we see is a 9mm Glock that gets cocked. That was Ted Nugent the first time we saw him.
Oh my God.
Jack Blades come walking in with an electric razor. He's shaving. "Hey, what's up, fellas?" So anyway, back to the Epcot story. Fast forward 25 years. And I'm sitting in the audience. I had taken backstage before the show. I had taken him a bottle of Don Julio Reposado tequila. And, you know, we were all enjoying and having a good little time. And it was a nice visit and everything. And then I went out front to watch them. They do 3 25-minute sets here at Epcot for 3 days in a row. And I happened to be off. So it's their last set, the Rocket set. I'm sitting out there maybe 3 rows back. And Kelly Keegy is singing, you know, "Sister Christian on the motor inn," right? And he walks off the stage with Jack, and they're coming out into the audience. Now, I'm sitting next to Kelly's fiance. I'm sitting next to Catherine, who we just talked about. And I'm thinking, surely he's coming out, and the spotlight's following. Surely he's coming out for one of the ladies. Well, they grab my wrist, and they pull me up. And they have me sing the end of Sister Christian with them. And then Jack goes, "We got one more song. Come on up." And I went up and sang "Don't Tell Me You Love Me" with them. And it's on my Facebook page and stuff like that.
Of course,
you guys want to check it out, yeah.
Of course. On your public page or your profile page?
I have a profile page. I also have, Facebook, which is the /CJ Snare Music. And then you can find me on Twitter. And you can find me on Instagram at SnareCo1.
No, wait a minute. You only brought them one bottle of tequila? I've heard stories about Night Ranger. Like Chad from Pussycat said, Ranger Danger? Are you kidding me? You think we're bad? Have you drank with Night Ranger?
Okay, well, that's another story, because actually the first time I had ever gone to see Night Ranger at Epcot was with Chad. It was really funny because Disney is strict, okay? So I hope I hope Walt's not listening, okay? But anyway, unless he has a Ouija board, maybe we can get Walt to listen in. But Chad and my girlfriend and I were running back and forth between, it's the World Showcase. So the performances in America, and Germany's really close by, and Japan, So we were going to Germany, and we were doing Jaeger shots, and me and Chad were totally fanboying out, singing, doing devil horns, singing all the Night Ranger tunes. It was so fun, man. We got really, really wasted.
Wait. So you're trying to tell me you got drunk with somebody from Faster Pussycat?
Usually Chad. Usually Chad. Yeah, but all the other guys too. Yeah, we've done gigs together in Peru and all over the place, and even the last Monsters of Rock cruise. I remember the first part of the night with Chad and Danny and Ace, and then I don't remember the. You know what? It was the night we came up to your. You had the karaoke thing going on, and I think Chad and I sang "Electric Eye" Judas Priest.
That's right.
I barely remember that.
That's
he pulled
right.
me up too. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
That's why that karaoke rules, man. Because all the artists get hammered and just want to sing shit that they don't ever get to sing. You know.
Oh yeah, man, it was so fun. That and your Kiss jam, which you invited me to last year, and I had to bail, and I had Jesse sing. I don't know if you remember that. It was you asked me, you invited me to sing Love Gun, and I had a super early show in the morning, and I'm like, please forgive me. I'm just gonna rest my voice for my show,
dude.
And
it's all good.
Then I came up to your karaoke and wailed it, and I was drunk off my ass for Electric Eye. I'm a huge Priest fan.
Well, dude, that's okay. We can do Love Gun at the Whiskey. It's all good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you just got to get the boys in Firehouse to play that. And speaking of the Whiskey, that's coming up in, when is that? July
6th, I believe. Is that the date?
Yeah, we're going to be at, the night before, we're going to be in Vegas at the Golden Nugget, and then we zip into Hollywood on the Strip there, and we're going to be doing the Whiskey show. Last time we played, it was sold out.
Yeah, it was
jam-packed.
It was my birthday.
I remember during Bill Leverty's guitar solo, I walked over to you and wished you a happy birthday and sat down with you and had a conversation in front of the audience. I thought about that afterwards. It's like, I probably should have talked to Izzy backstage instead of in front of a whole audience.
Dude, I thought it was we got a great Polaroid of it. It's just me and us two just yapping during Bill's solo. It's like, hey, how's it going, buddy?
Yeah, happy birthday.
I thought it was classic, man. So let's dive into your history a little bit, because I mean we've talked a lot. We spent a couple hours in the car when I did those airport runs for you back in Minnesota, but all we did was talk about Kiss, which is fine.
Right.
You know, which we could,
of course,
which will probably be 90% of this show. But so you're a DC kid.
Well, I was born in Washington, D.C. Funny thing, I just had my kids there this past weekend.
I saw that.
Yeah, I had a weekend off, and they had never been. Okay, and there's so many cool things there with the Washington Monument and the nation's capital, Lincoln Memorial, Jefferson Memorial, Smithsonian Institute, blah 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 blah, on and on and on. And yeah, I took them around for the long Easter weekend. Just got back home and getting ready to fly out to Lincoln, Nebraska, doing a show there, and then next week is a biggie. It's M3.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, dude.
That's right. That's right.
That's going to be awesome. They have the rotating stage, and Firehouse has played Merryweather Post since our first album came out. When we played with Warren and Trickster, that was the Blood, Sweat, and Beers tour in 1991.
I remember
we've always
that tour.
Performed there. Yeah, I remember parts.
Yeah, because I think you guys did Duluth and maybe Somerset. I can't remember. I don't think I was at either of them, but I remember the tour coming through. When did you know that you had the gift? When you knew that you had a voice? Well,
I started off in DC, like you said, but when we were little kids, when I was about 6 years old, we moved and we went to Pennsylvania. Okay. And I started piano lessons when I was 5.
Oh, wow.
And my mom always said, you're going to learn to play classical music. You're going to learn Bach. You're going to learn Beethoven. You're going to learn Brahms and Mozart. Because if you can play that, you can play anything you want. And I thought she was full of shit at the time, of course, because I'm like, I want Alice Cooper, you know?
Yeah.
But she was right. And, it gave me the ability to pen some songs and things like that. And I started singing at a young age, when I was in 6th grade, I think. My mom said to me, the teacher said, well, we think that CJ has found his niche, But the lady that I took piano lessons from, she was an opera singer. And she told me that when my voice changed, after the Peter Brady stage, you know, the cracking voice stuff, you know, that I could start training. And I did. And I sang in church, and I sang in school choirs, and I went through regional, district, regional, and then all the way to state chorus, so that in my senior year in high school, I was first chair tenor 1 in the Pennsylvania State Chorus.
Damn, you don't hear a lot of these stories from the rock guys. I mean, it's like, dude, there was a Sebastian Bach story about that, because that's kind of what he did too. Because I don't think he competed, but I know he did the chorus stuff. But you don't hear a lot of the rock guys talking about being in the chorus when they're in high school.
Yeah, that's kind of where I got my chops. But it was then in high school that the Alice Cooper and the Kiss, and I mean, Kiss made me decide that's what I want to do. This is what I want to do. So that's when I think I started realizing that I had a voice. And when I was 15, 16, I started writing my own songs, and I'd perform at, like, you know, the high school talent show or whatever. And, you know, the other kids were like, hey, this guy, he's cool. You know, when you write in the yearbooks at the end, you're like, I'm going to be a rock star. You know, that's what I'm going to do. And success in your career, being a rock star, you know. That was weird. Kind of worked out. Back to Kiss. First time I saw him, Peter Criss came and sat on the edge of the stage, and they did Beth, and all the lighters went up in the Philadelphia Spectrum, and that's when I'm like, oh man, I got to do this. I got to do this. And here's my story. It came full circle in 1991 on that first tour for us, because we played Love of a Lifetime in the Philadelphia Spectrum. Oh wow! All the lighters went up, bro. I got choked up.
Dude, that's killer. That's fucking killer. What was your first Kiss record?
You know, it kind of went like this: Hotter Than Hell. And then I went backwards to the first one, obviously, then Dressed to Kill. And those used to come out every 6 months. Yeah. So, you know, I was right from the beginning. Them, Aerosmith. Oh, God, so many influences for all of us, you know.
Right. And I actually wasn't asking the influence question, because I'm not that hacky, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a hack, but I'm not that hacky. But, you know, if you have a chance to talk about Kiss, I mean, what the hell? So you remember your first Kiss show? I mean, you were talking about Peter Criss singing Beth, but you remember where it was? Was that the Spectrum?
Philadelphia Spectrum.
What tour?
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I kind of did all my school years in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
But I swear to God, when I graduated high school, the very next day, I came to Florida. My whole family migrated to Florida. Okay. We're all in Florida now. There's a little North Carolina, South Carolina stint in there, which is where Firehouse kind of came together and everything. Which, you know, is Wikipedia.
Well, of course. When you were, when you got the itch that you wanted to be a rock star, was there any inkling? It was like, dude, I got to go to L.A.
You know, it's really funny. Everybody used to tell us that. And here's part of the story. We had listened to Vinnie Vincent Invasion at the time, and this is after Bill Leverty, our guitar player, Michael Foster, our drummer, and Perry Richardson, our former bass player who now plays with Stryper.
Yeah.
We were all together, and we went to a Vinnie Vincent Invasion show, and Dana Strum and Mark Slaughter were there. And we approached Dana because he had produced that record, and we'd asked him if he would produce our demo, because we had a budget for that. We had a small independent record label backing us for that. So they're like, sure, you know, Dana Strum, sure, guys, come on out. And we shared a 2-bedroom apartment in Sherman Oaks.
Oh, wow.
We recorded at Cherokee Studios on the same Trident boards that Motley Crue did their stuff on.
Oh, wow.
And we did stuff like Rock on the Radio and Lover's Lane and Don't Treat Me Bad, things like that. We demoed them up. We had Stevie Rochelle from Tough in there, and the guys from Hardline, and a bunch of people came in, sang background vocals, including Mark Slaughter. They had boxes and boxes of pictures and cassettes of drummers and guitar players they were auditioning for Slaughter. And so they made it the year before we did and got signed. And I remember being so frustrated, going, oh, dude, I know these guys, and I know we can do this. And we'd been passed on by a couple labels. It was a year later, though, after they won the American Music Award. I don't know if anybody remembers this. Back in 1990, they won it in 91.
Yep.
They handed it to us because we won it 1 year later.
Did you know, here's a little Slaughter trivia for you guys. I don't know if you know this or not, CJ, but their very first show was opening up for Kiss on that fucking Hot in the Shade tour. They never played live until they opened up for Kiss.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, wow, it's insane. Well, because they got their deal because Vinny lost his deal and they just basically gave it to him. I'm sure you knew that story, but so
anyway, yeah, back to your question. We were out there in LA and everybody was like, you guys should stay out here. And we stayed in North Carolina. We were in Charlotte, North Carolina, because I was living there at the time. And Michael and Bill had also moved there. Perry lived and currently lives in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, but he came up, and the two Richmond, Virginia boys, Michael and Bill, came south, and we all converged upon Charlotte, North Carolina, where we got signed in a pretty hot minute.
Dude, and that's pretty insane, because it's like especially back then, it was like you had to be in Los Angeles to get signed, especially in the genre that you were in.
That's what everybody said. I mean, the Sunset Strip scene with all the bands out there and passing their flyers out and everything. We somehow circumvented that. And, maybe it was because we just caught the tail end of the era. People often ask me, hey, man, if you could redo one thing, what would it be? It's like my answer would be, I wish we could have gotten started about 2 or 3 years earlier.
Right.
Because when we won that American Music Awards, it was against Alice in Chains and Nirvana, so that kind of was like, the changing of the guard right there.
Right. Well, that says something about how good the music was, though, because you're talking about the changing of the guard, and we all know the story about how and I hate to use the phrase hair metal because I hate that phrase, but it is what it is. But how that genre it literally was circling the drain, and it went fast, and you guys were up against that, and that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, we had no clue, not an inkling, that we were going to win. Maybe we should have known when Dick Clark crossed the stage at rehearsals to introduce himself to us, which that was a high point.
Oh,
that was
wow.
And then, of course, that night winning. But, in retrospect, it's all good because it did circle the drain. But then the drain got backed up and it regurgitated, and the grunge really, or whatever you want to call it, that whole scene that took away the hairband scene for a while. I don't really hear much about that. You don't really hear much about that, but you hear, that, hey, dude, Bret Michaels is out there and Cinderella, or Tom Kiefer's out there doing it, and Firehouse is out there doing it, and Whitesnake is doing it, which, by the way, at M3, it's Whitesnake is from the top down. It's Whitesnake, and then Warrant, and then us, and then I think Steven Adler, and then Danger. So Saturday, guys, got to be there. It's going to be a killer show. Not this Saturday. It's May 4th.
May the 4th. Oh, yes. So, yeah, that is next weekend. Holy shit. It just goes by so fast. I can't fucking believe it. I can't fucking believe it. But during that changing of the guard, was there any talk to, inside with you guys about like changing the sound and kind of going with the times? Or did you guys just want to stick to what you guys were?
Well, I mean, I know you're familiar with the music, so we went with a different producer, Ron Nevison, actually, who did like Heart, and he had been part of the Bad Company stuff and some Led Zeppelin things, and he'd done Ozzy. I mean, it's tons of people. It was such an experience to work with him. And then we had a guy who's just an icon out there in Los Angeles, Chris Lord-Alge, mixed the record for us, and he has for so many bands, and recreated kind of a new sound. It was a little more fresh, a little more modern sounding, I don't know, for its time. And what a lot of people might not have known is that after the scene had totally gone down the drain in 1995, we had a number 23 hit on the Billboard charts for the song called I Live My Life For You, which came from that record, which totally caught everyone off guard and by surprise. No one expected a quote-unquote hair band to be able to chart, in mid-90s.
Did you ever feel strapped in by the ballad?
That wasn't a conscious decision when we started. I mean, I remember the record company approaching us saying, hey, the power ballad is a big thing, and of course, Love of a Lifetime did wonders for our career. And then, when I look into your eyes, the what am I trying to say? The record company, obviously, because they are a company, let's remember this, it's the recording business back in the day, okay, they would gravitate towards what would sell, what would make them the money, what would get the most exposure and airplay. But we have always been, first and foremost, all-American straight-ahead rock and roll band.
Right,
and you know that if you come and see us live. If you only know us from our radio repertoire, you'll think of things like Don't Treat Me Bad or, you know, the ballads, like you said, or whatever. If you come and see us live, you see what we're really about.
Yeah, you see them live, it's like, oh, fuck, I know this song. I know this song. It just goes on and on and on, and that says something, you know?
I remember the first night we toured with Tesla on their Psychotic Supper tour back in 92. And that was supposed to go 6 weeks. Okay, it ended up going 9 months because we just kept selling out everywhere. But I will never forget that first night when we played and we opened up with a song from the first record called Overnight Sensation. And we had Reach for the Sky and Shake and Tumble. If all you Firehouse fans out there, you know these are heavier songs. And all the dudes in Tesla came running out of their dressing room. And they were just like, holy shit, we had no idea that this is the band we were going to be touring with. Because, the at first glance, we're that poppy ballad band, you know. But if you take a closer look, you see that it's a rock band.
Yeah, you're not the wedding singer, even though you could be. You know?
Yeah.
Have you done weddings? Have you ever done a wedding?
Oh yeah.
As Firehouse?
I cannot lie. Yes. Well, we've. You know what? At first, they said you're going to do a wedding, and we're like, no way. That's ridiculous. We have our integrity, and then they showed us the money.
Straight cash, homie.
Yeah, maybe we could do that. Okay, you know. So yeah, we've done a few of those. We've also done like they'll throw at a casino. Maybe they'll invite 150 high rollers, and by high rollers I mean these people will drop 6 figures or more in a casino annually. So they invite 150 high-rolling Firehouse bands out there because that's who they requested. And at first we're like, there's no way we're playing for a bunch of gamblers with addiction and stuff like that. And then they show us the money. And we go, you know, we go, well, okay, you know, maybe we could roll the dice with this with ourselves.
Right, absolutely. Scotty says, yes, love that version. Was a highlight of my Ocho. I think he's talking about the karaoke. I think I have the video of that Electric Eye. And Amber says, that's awesome. I honestly know very little about Firehouse, but always loved CJ's voice. Very talented. There you go.
Well, now, where is she?
Amber, where are you? Let us know where you are. I can't see that. But we got a few people up here in this room. Keith is checking in. He's from Canada. I know Scotty's from Canada. Jacobus. We all know and love Jacobus. Bruce is from Canada. There's 2 Game 7s tonight at NHL, and this is filled with hosers. This is shocking.
Yeah, right?
This is shocking.
Well, the reason I was asking Amber is because that was going to be an invitation, Amber, to say if you know very little, you got to get in touch with me somehow through Izzy or whatever, and I'll show you about Firehouse.
She's from Georgia.
Oh, awesome. Well, we just played Rocklanta 2 weeks ago. Where were you, girl?
Yeah, where were you? Oh, my God. But, dude, we have to talk about this. Getting back to the Monsters of Rock cruise, that very first year that I was on there as an artist, and that was the year that you guys judged the Gong Show karaoke. And I don't know if I don't know if you remember this or not, because this is kind of a huge thing, and this really made this whole thing worthwhile. The gal, I'm just telling this story for everybody else that's listening.
Okay.
But it was the finals, and one of the gals that was in the finals did not know who the judges were when she put her song in, and her song was Don't Treat Me Bad. And this is a Gong Show, and the judges ended up being Firehouse. And
partially. It was Alan McKenzie.
Yeah, you and Alan,
player.
yeah.
Me and also Troy Patrick Barrell.
That's right. The man with the best smelling hair on the boat. And
Yeah, and the permanent guy liner. He
Yeah.
looks like the male version of Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, dude. Love that guy. So they were going to gong her right away. It's like, oh, gosh, she's kissing our ass. No way. We're going to gong her. Then you let her go. Then CJ runs up and ends up singing backups on his song to her. And it was fucking awesome.
Because she was good.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. You made somebody's life right there.
Well, at first, like you said, we thought it was a total stroke off and she was blowing smoke up our ass. But she didn't know. And we didn't know. And once we listened and she was nailing it, it's like, let's give her a hand.
Yeah, dude.
We know this one.
That was fucking great. And I think, Alan went up too. So it was like 3-part harmonies and she was singing the lead, dude. That was so fucking cool of you. And I can't thank you enough for doing that. I mean, that's just amazing.
That's the thing about the Monsters of Rock cruise and Izzy's jams or his karaoke's and things like that. The whole thing. People get up and they jam with each other. It's always such a blast. And it's like one big crazy rock and roll party where our bands are intermingling amongst each other and jamming and stuff like that. And also with all the people who come out and sail with us. And 2020 is going to be off the hook.
Oh, dude, it's going to be great. I can't wait until tomorrow when they start announcing the bands. I don't want
is that tomorrow?
Yeah, that's tomorrow. So if you guys are on there, do not say that on here because I do not want Larry mad at me.
I would never say that. I would never say that for the same reason. Larry, we love you.
Yeah, we love you, Larry Moran. But it would be a gas if Firehouse was on there in 2020. So, all right, this is what we're going to do. We are going to take a short little break. I got 3 commercials, and we're going to be right back with CJ Snare of Firehouse and a band called Rubicon Cross.
What?
And yeah, what? And what we're going to do is we're going to come out of the break with the song from Rubicon Cross. And then we'll talk about the band, and then we'll take some more audience questions and just kind of fucking roll, kind of like we're doing. You know, that's what we do here on another fucking podcast. So hold tight, CJ Snare on the blower. Be right back in 2 and 2.
Woohoo!
Rockwood Saloon Authentic Apparel takes rock and roll fashion to a new level with their tees and tanks for men and women. They also make custom shirts, jackets, vests, pants, hoodies, beanies, and more. The Rockwood Graphics Department can design anything from your logo, t-shirt design, promo posters, band swag, and printed at great prices. From tour shirts and custom stage gear to killer threads for the street to the stage, Rockwood Saloon has it all. Rockwood Saloon, authentic rock and roll apparel for stage and street. World tour tested for quality, comfort, style, and durability. Check them out at www.rockwoodsaloon.com. That's rockwoodsaloon.com.
If you need to promote your band or business or just want to stylize, personalize, or customize your ride, check out vid-decals.com. Want to create and customize your own stickers representing your band or make your own bumper sticker? Vid Decals can do it. All stickers are printed on quality vinyl and can be placed on any flat surface. Stickers are an affordable way to promote your band or business. Go to vid-decals.com to get started. That's vid-decals.com. vid-decals.com.
Retro Arcade brings Minnesota and surrounding areas arcade games from the days gone by. All of those great games from pizza joints and arcades are available in cocktail units and custom machines. Dozens of favorites from your youth in one machine to complete your game room or man cave. Retro Arcade also sells and services your favorite pinball machines. Find them at facebook.com/80arcade. That's facebook.com/80arcade. Retro Arcade. Your youth is just one click away.
Hey, what's going on? This is Tom Arnold. I like fat women and cocaine. And you're listening to Izzy Presley here on another fucking podcast. And I know Izzy from Cocaine Anonymous meetings. I've actually seen him at the meetings with Ace Von Johnson from, I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but Ace has got a bad coke problem. And his sponsor is Josh Todd from, and again, I shouldn't say this out loud, but Josh is his sponsor for Buck Cherry. He's addicted to upskirt porn. And they're both being sponsored by the Eagles. The whole band, the Eagles. Anyways, another fucking podcast right here with Izzy Presley, and call your sponsor. Fucking A.
All right, from Rubicon Cross, here is You Will Resent Me.
Choice, my back's against the wall, trapped in the corner like some kind of animal. I won't be beaten, broken, left here in the dark. I'm leaving you behind and gonna make my mark. Too late the tears you cried, no one can love you like I did. Left with my memory for the best of your life, filled with regrets. You can't forget. You will remember me. The best you had, too late, too bad. You will remember me. When you're unhappy, it feels like you're doing time. We were together, and I felt guilt without the crime. You tore my heart out, then you left me there to bleed. The deadliest cuts come from the love we think we need. Pick up the pieces, go home. I'm better off on my own. Left with my memory for the rest of your life, filled with regrets. You won't forget. You will remember me. The best you had, too late, too bad. You will remember me. Filled with regrets. You can't forget. You will remember me. The best you had, too late, too bad. You will remember me. It's in the past. Love doesn't last. You will remember me. You had your chance. Now kiss my ass. You will
You will remember me. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's because this little circle that the button was on didn't have the whole word remember in it. And it looks like you will resent with my blurry eyes.
I think it's something else. I think, like Tom Arnold said just a little bit earlier, your cocaine problem, my cocaine problem. You know, I do resent you now for not saying it right.
I'm sorry.
You will remember me. No, I'm joking.
I know.
Dude, there was Jack Daniels and cocaine.
That's a great song, man. I like it. I can't wait to dive into the whole record. That is the band Rubicon Cross, which you are fronting. How did that whole thing come about? Why don't you tell us about Rubicon Cross?
Well, you know, obviously Firehouse has been together, and we've been a very tight-knit organization for a long, long time. A lot of times when we'd be doing press, I would have people, reporters and stuff, ask me, "Are you ever going to do anything solo?" And I had said, I'm always able to express everything musical that I want to do through Firehouse. And over time, that changed a little bit. Bill and I were always the songwriting team. We all wrote the songs together, but Bill and I did the lion's share of it. And, Bill started going in more of a bluesy, kind of southern rocky kind of direction, which is really cool. I invite everybody to go check out Bill's music. Oh, it's great. And, mine is more like, I don't know, my roots are in heavy metal, and I'm a Priest fan, an Iron Maiden fan, and the Scorpions and everything. So I wanted to do something a little more modern, heavy, and I hooked up this with the guitar player on there, Chris Green from England. We had a similar kind of vision, and so I just kind of wanted to branch out artistically, musically, and show a bit of a different side. I think it's a little more modern, a little more edgy, heavier, but I think the Firehouse fans would still enjoy it.
Yeah, dude. I mean, well, it's got. I mean, obviously, it's got your voice, but it's. I mean, it's still got that feel because it's got your voice. But like I said, it's so much heavier. It's just it's a little bit more modern.
Well, that's a compliment, and thank you very much.
Yeah.
That's what we were going for. Not that we were sitting there in white lab coats and it was contrived or anything, But I mean, that's just kind of what came out as we sat here. I'm sitting in the studio right now, and as we sat here, and we wrote the songs. And so I would invite anybody. It's up on, everywhere. Rubicon Cross is the name of the band. We've actually done a couple of shows live, during the time when Disturbed actually was disbanded for a little while. I think that David Draymond, the singer, went on to Device, and Dan Donegan and Mike Wengren, who was my neighbor at the time in Wisconsin, they went and did Fight or Flight before they got back together, and have enjoyed the enormous success once again that they have. But for like 2 days, Mike Wengren was the drummer for Rubicon Cross.
Oh, wow.
And I was actually at his housewarming party and following him. He was following me and I was following him, and we were talking. We were all excited about it. And he called me 2 days later because Donegan was there too. And he's like, "Dude, I got some bad news. My bro from, the south side of Chicago days and all through Disturbed, I didn't know this, but he had a project too. And so, I got to stick with my bro." I'm like, "Oh, I understand. That fucking sucks. But yeah, I understand,
Oh, we got some more listener comments. Scotty said, "Kick-ass song." Bruce says, "Good riff." And we got Catherine checking in from the room right next to you.
What's up, Catherine?
And let's see, Roger checking in, close to Charlotte, North Carolina here. I was at your show at Amos 330. I'm the one who offered to help your friend Marty's wife when he passed, and you did a cameo for me on Valentine's Day. Been following you guys since the beginning.
Oh, thanks a lot, man. Yeah. Some people in the rock and roll world have been passing away. We actually, when Vinnie Paul passed away, we were in Vegas that night and
wow.
Texting with him, and actually my tour manager had gone to the party with him. And then, a friend of ours had been Night Ranger's tour manager forever, and I met him back in '91 when he was with Trickster Todd Confessore, also passed away. And this guy Marty Burns also he and I have been friends since the very beginning, and he just died very suddenly too. He was a promoter in North Carolina. But yeah, this cameo thing that he's mentioning, that's something that I've been doing a lot too. You go to cameo.com/CJ Snare, and people will ask me to wish someone a happy Valentine's Day or whatever, or say something to the love of a lifetime. Mother's Day is coming up. People can go and check that out too. I'll give them a shout out. I'll sing a little bit of a song or whatever. And a lot of celebs are doing that, and I think it's a really cool idea.
No, absolutely. Speaking of Mother's Day, if you guys want to get your mother something special, A&P Productions Laser Engraving Division. That's aplaser.com. These guys are so good. They can put anything on anything. They even laser engraved a hot dog bun. Get your mom something nice. aplaser.com. And please check out Beater Amplification. That's 2 E's, Beeter, badass rock and roll tones. 100 watts of testicular fortitude. Pull 2 tubes and you have a 53 channels. Freaking amazing. Hand wired, hand built. You will love them. Tabitha checking in. Tabitha Michelle. Says, hey, CJ.
Hey.
And,
hey, how's it going? Oh my God, you just gave me the greatest idea.
Yes.
What I was trying to figure out what I was going to get my mom for Mother's Day, and now I think it's going to be a laser etched hot dog bun. You know what the hell?
Yes, they can do it. And well, so you get the hot dog bun done, and then you can actually get the hot dog done too. So have a double thing, you know, the one message on the bun and one message on the actual hot dog. But it might be weird giving your mom a laser engraved wiener for Mother's Day.
Yeah. Let's not go there.
Yeah, no.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom. So yeah, you said you did a couple live shows with Rubicon Cross. Are you guys gonna be playing? I mean, is that still a thing? Are you guys writing new stuff?
It is still a thing. Yeah, we just started writing things for the second record. We just started exchanging ideas. We got together. Chris plays in Taiketo.
Oh,
too.
cool.
That's his day gig, you know.
Yeah.
And so, when I first met him, he was in England, and then he married an American girl. He came over here, and he lives in Atlanta now. And we just started plotting the next attack.
Is there any inkling to do any new Firehouse material?
And that's a good question. It comes up often. I think that the inkling is there, but we frankly, I mean, we're together a lot because Firehouse never stops touring.
Right.
And we talk about this all the time. And, I think if we can find the right riff, the right hook, because we have kind of a sound. We have a bit of a legacy in some sterling songs that are indelibly stamped in time. And we don't want to diminish that in any way, shape, or form. Of course, as an artist, you have to also have the testicular fortitude, to use your words, to just put your head out there on the chopping block.
Right.
You know, you just got to go for it. So we have entertained the idea of possibly doing a single. You know, it's just it's not what it used to be. I don't know that it sells any more concert tickets.
Right.
Really interesting thing. It struck me odd. Someone introduced us, and I think it might have been Luke, 2 weeks ago, and you know, in our past, people would intro us and say, you know, these guys have sold millions of records all around the world. And Luke said they've sold millions of tickets all around the world. And I never really had thought of it that way.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the stamp of longevity right there. When an act can still sell tickets, people are still coming out to the shows, attending the shows, singing the songs. And I don't know. You tell me. And this is something we'll pose to the people who are online there and engaged in our conversation. Do you like hearing new music from older bands? Do you really want to hear them play that in their set at a show? Or would you prefer to hear the old classic standards?
You know, as a fan, I always like to hear a new song now and then. I mean, especially because you got a lot of these bands that are coming out with new material. I mean, LA Guns just put out a second, record with Phil and Tracy back together, and both these records kick ass. And it's like, why not play some of this material that they're putting their fucking blood, sweat, and tears in, and putting it out there. And, there's a couple record companies that are, bands from your era that's what they do is they're able to put out new material. I think personally, I would love to see like one new song in the thing, but unfortunately you play to the masses, and the masses, when that new song comes on, they don't know it. They're either in the beer line or the piss line.
There you go. And that's part of the discussion when Firehouse is, entertaining the idea of doing new music. Has Frontiers Records approached us? Of course they have. Have we entertained the idea? Of course we have. But we think about it, and it's like, we have such a large catalog of songs to draw on right now that we can bring out something from, a more obscure album, and people will think of it as a new song. Never heard that before. That was great, So it's kind of like we're really on the fence. So if we could get someone to, like there's guys like we just played with Winger, and they're always wanting to. They're doing new music all the time, and I know that Steelheart just did one. I know the LA Guns. Oh my God, I heard LA Guns, not the newest one, but the one right before that, and I thought that's really kick ass.
The new one's better.
And then it came out so fast I haven't heard it yet. You know, Tony Harnell just did something with Starbreaker, and I heard that, and I really liked it. Just everybody's doing this stuff, and I got to tell you, sometimes when I'm listening to it, I'm going, geez. Do I want to take all that time and effort and energy and put it into that? And there's that artistic side of me that's like, absolutely, hell yeah, fuck yeah. And then there's that other side of me, which is like, and how will that fit into the set of the nuts and bolts and the day to day of what we're doing out there on the road?
Right. Well, I think the good thing about this new material coming out is the fact that, I mean, you guys are all, you've grown up and you know what you're good at, and this is the genre in general, and that's what the genre is doing. This is like they're going back to their roots and what they know best. It's like we talked about changing with the times, like when grunge came in, yada yada yada. I think that's one thing that hurt the genre too, is they tried to change instead of just doing what they did. Does that make sense?
Warrant just put out great new music, and speaking of which, I mean, Robert Mason went and he did his thing with all the Dokken guys.
Yeah, dude, that's a
Jeff
great
Wilson,
record.
George Lynch. That is the End Machine, it's called. And I heard that too and went, man, I really want to write some new music. I really want to do that.
Yeah, it's a tough call. It's like, do you try it, or it's like, is it? I suppose like you said. Where's the money? If that money, you lay down that money, okay, maybe.
Is it going to sell another ticket? And because that's what we rely on these days. And I hate to say that it's money driven too, because I will say this without. I had this conversation with Tom Kiefer too, and we were going back and forth about this as well. Similar thoughts as artists. We're like, should we? Shouldn't we? Because Cinderella was a band, and Tom was of the train of thought too that we have what we have right now, and that's what we're going to stick with.
Right. Well, it's funny you talked about bringing in one of those deep cuts that people might not know. The song that I picked that I'm going to close the show with in just a little while here, we still have a few minutes left, is off of the Category 5 record called "If It Changes."
Oh my God! Let me tell you something about that really quickly.
Please do.
That came to me like in a dream. That do 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 do, and the guitar goes. It has a tremolo sound on it. And I asked Bill. That was part of my vision. Okay, and my ex at the time thought that I had written that song about somebody else. I'm like, no, seriously, it was just like total artistic license. I just wrote this song because it's about strangers meeting and a chemistry and everything like that. But here's the real cool part of the story. My good friend Kevin Dubrow, former singer of Quiet Riot, who's now passed away, said that was his favorite song from Category 5.
Wow.
If It Changes. So that was kind of a cool. We did a lot of tours, and he was a great guy, and we were all very saddened at his passing and everything. But I learned so much from that guy, and it was an honor for him to actually single out that tune, just like it's an honor for you to single it out.
Well, I tell you the reason that I know this song, and my first girlfriend, I was 36 when I got my first girlfriend, believe it or not. but I'm serious. And I made her. I used to make her these mixtapes because that's how I do. But I always told a story with the mixtape, right? Guy meets girl, guy loses girl, guy gets girl. It was just stupid shit. I just had fun with it. And she gave me a CD of a story. And I didn't realize until after we got back from our trip to Vegas, like that's when she gave it to me, and I was listening to it on the way home, and that song is on there. That's how I'm familiar with the song. And the last song is 38 Special, Hold On Loosely. I'm like, oh my God, she's breaking up with me. And she was.
Hold On Loosely. Interesting story. We were just coming back from D.C. and we ran into Rodney, the bass player. No, I'm sorry. We met their new guitar player, Jerry, because Gary Moffitt, their drummer, is always on the same planes. We have kind of like a Florida crew here. We fly in and out of Orlando. Jeff Blando is often on those flights. He plays with Vince Neil and or Slaughter.
Yep.
You know, a lot of us come in and out of here. But, yeah, it has kind of a Middle Eastern feel to it, the song, if it changes as well. I don't know.
Yeah, it does. It does.
And yeah, it was experimental. It totally was. It was that artistic side of Firehouse, not trying to change, but just saying, hey, what if we go, a little left of center here or a little to the right and stay within the parameters of what we know our fans like and what we like, but just try to mix it up a little bit. So, I had this cool new keyboard with these tabla, which is like a Middle Eastern sort of percussion instrument sound on it, and in crowds sounds like you're in a bazaar, or a the Middle Eastern sort of market, whatever. And then Bill did kind of like almost sitar or Indian.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's got that vibe.
Yeah, dude, it's totally cool. I remember Alan was on the show on the boat, and I was like, dude, you guys got to play that. He's like, nobody would know it.
But that's cool. See, and that
Yeah.
goes back to what we were discussing. So I think our catalog is so vast that we still do to this day. I mean, we have a rotational spot when we do our headlining set, and it's always a new tune every time. So, I think people are hearing material that they're unaccustomed to. We do this song called Crash off of Primetime. Bet most of the people who are listening to this might not know that. If you do, God bless you. Thank you very much. But come to our show and you'll hear it.
I was going to ask you about something before we go here. You say you own everything, all the publishing?
Yeah, we do.
How did you did you get one of those fucking Motley Crue give me that stuff back deals, or how did that all end up working?
We never signed it away.
Oh,
actually,
okay.
We went in with Sony, so Sony does have a piece, and that's what they give you the advance based on.
Gotcha.
But we kept it to this. We've been in the black forever. We still get paid on that, and through the ASCAP and the performing and stuff like that, which you and I talked about earlier. But also digital streaming. It's the wild, wild west out there since everything went digital. But we're still seeing a monetary income stream from that. Things like the not just terrestrial radio, but the satellite radio and stuff like that has helped so much. And now they've monetized YouTube. And I know this probably seems like a ridiculous discussion to a lot of people listening, but if you want to keep art going, you have to feed artists.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, I mean, you hear these horror stories about, Spotify, Pandora, and all that kind of stuff. Since you own everything, is your story different?
No, don't get me started though. On
no,
this,
please.
on
I would love to know your take on this.
Well, no, I mean, okay, with there was just new legislation that was put into place, and it mostly involved the European Union. And it was like within the next 5 years, streaming services would have to pay 30% more to the songwriters. And Apple said, you know what? That's fine with us. We'll pay 30% more because these guys are making us our money for our subscription services.
Yep.
They're paying pennies to these writers, okay? And that's just not fair. These guys are creating this music that is a soundtrack to people's lives, but kudos to Apple. The people that I'm pissed off at right now is Spotify said Spotify and Amazon, these multi-billion-dollar conglomerates are saying we just want to continue to pay pennies to these artists. So they appealed that ruling, and they're going to fight it in court.
Jesus
Christ. So go to Apple, guys. Go to Apple. They are treating artists fairly.
And I tell you what, I had first time I had Doug Pinnick on the show, we were talking about that, and that's why he's like, dude, that's why I respect Lars Ulrich for going to bat for us when Napster hit, and Taylor Swift for going to bat for us, with Apple. And that's why Apple started doing it, is because Taylor Swift stood up for everybody.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Another person who's doing that is Lizzie Hale.
Oh, love Lizzie.
Yeah, she has been in Congress. I guess she's kind of taken up the mantle for, I don't know if you guys remember Sonny and Cher, but Sonny Bono actually became a congressman, and he used to walk the halls of Congress and advocate for the rights of songwriters and musicians, artists. It's really important. And you know what? Also, you guys, thanks for coming out to the shows. When you buy a ticket to a Firehouse show or any of the other bands that you support from the same genre or any genre at all, you're helping them feed their kids, man. You're helping them live the dream. You're helping them, keep the lights on. And that's what we want to do. If you want to go, you want to have a show, you want to get us away, you want to have an escape, then keep supporting us. And we appreciate it. And we'll keep doing it as long as we can for you guys. Love you. Thank you so much.
CJ, because of you, I have my first listener from Jakarta. Reno
Woo-hoo!
from Jakarta checking in. Big fans. I love it.
It must be morning there. So I say salamat siang.
There
See
you
what they say
go.
about that. Salamat siang and terima kasih.
Firehouse coming up. Where are you guys going to be at?
This weekend, as I said, we're going to be in Lincoln, Nebraska, and then next weekend we're going to be in Hopewell, Virginia. It's kind of a hometown show for Michael and Bill. That's our
nice
drummer and bass player. And then the next day we're going to be in Columbia, Maryland at the M3 Festival with Whitesnake and Warrant.
Nice. And then you'll be at the Whiskey A Go-Go on July 6th, and we will be hanging out. Because I know last time it was like you guys were in and out, just gone. I barely got a chance to say hi, which is why I'm glad you came over and said hi during Bill's guitar solo.
Okay, well, me too. This time it's flipped. I think we had to go to the Vegas or something. We're playing in Vegas at the Golden Nugget on the 5th, and on the 6th, we're ending up the run at the Whiskey. So, we can have a beer or something afterwards.
I love it, man.
Shoot the shit a little bit.
Well, we'll go get that the big rock star table at the Rainbow like it's supposed to be done.
That's the way you do it. That's how we roll.
I love it. Well, CJ, thank you so much for doing this. I'm glad we finally got this figured out and got you on, man.
Hey, man, it's my pleasure. And Izzy, we go way, 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 way back.
We do.
And I can't wait to see what's next.
I can't wait to do Love Gun with you guys at the Whiskey.
Yeah.
Bill's. This has to happen. This has to happen.
Oh, I signed on for that, but here's how it's going to happen, and we have to speak to Larry. I can't have a show early the next morning if I'm going to be singing your show.
No. I'm saying at the Whiskey A Go-Go.
Oh,
we close the night with Love Gun.
Well, you remember last time we were there, Eric Singer, their drummer, was actually at the show.
Yeah, I know. I didn't see him. I think Lance Bass was there too.
Oh, yeah. Do you think Eric would know the song, though?
He might. But
they're going to be touring forever on their end of, this is their final tour. I can't believe it. I'm sad.
I know. Have you seen it yet?
I've seen snippets of it, but my schedule. It's like when they're coming around here. Yeah, have you seen it?
No. The LA Forum show was the night that I got back from the last Monsters of Rock cruise, and I was so goddamn tired. Plus, it's expensive. I drive a Lyft.
Yeah, I hear you.
So I couldn't do it, man. But all right, brother. And people want to find you on social media. You want to hit that one more time for everybody that joined in late?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook, which is just CJ Snare. Actually, it's facebook.com/CJ Snare Music. Then there's CJSnare.com. There's Cameo. Go to Cameo so I can give you a personal shout out. And that, of course, is just you can search for CJ Snare. And on Instagram and Twitter, it's at SnareCo, SnareCo, like a company, SnareCo1.
All right, beautiful. I'll drop you a text afterwards because we got a 5-minute outro with the song If It Changes. CJ Snare, everybody. CJ Snare. Yay.
Peace out.
Dude, thank you
I
again,
love you
man.
guys. Good night. Keep on rocking.
Later, brother. We'll talk soon.
All right.
Yeah, bye-bye. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please do make sure you hit up all of the social media at Real Izzy Presley all the way across the board. And, of course, the Facebook page for the show is Another Effin' Podcast. And hit up John Palumbo Design. We love us some John Palumbo. You need anything designed, a website, a logo, a band logo, anything, hit up the amazing John Palumbo at John Palumbo Design. And now I'm going to tempt fate and play one more song on this show. This is a Firehouse song. This is off of the record Category 5. It is called If It Changes. Going out to my good friend Danielle.
Can you feel it too? My soul tonight.